So I went down to IHOP this morning and got a copy of the local paper and was doing some reading, just trying to enjoy my Saturday morning. And I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And to give you a little insight into Colorado Springs, Colorado, two of the main features are the fact that there are a number of military bases here. Just a few days ago, Joe Biden was here for the Air Force Academy graduation ceremony and did a speech. In addition to that, there are a number of evangelical churches. The Focus on the Family is here, which is an organization headed by James Dobson that is instrumental in disseminating the evangelical political ideology, as well as Ted Haggard's church. Ted Haggard, of course, is no longer the pastor of New Life Church. So a big evangelical community here, just to give you a little context. So I'm reading the paper today, the Colorado Springs Gazette, and I opened it up to the second page, some local news, and I'm going to give you a little background on this story. The title is Valedictorian's Argument Rejected by Appeals Panel, and I read something about this a while back. And basically what it is it was a graduate of a high school here who wanted to give, she was a valedictorian, wanted to give a speech containing some reference to Jesus or Christianity. Now, what basically happened is the school required anybody giving a speech to submit a copy of the speech for some kind of perusal or censorship of some sort to see if it was acceptable. And they deemed it unacceptable because of a reference to Jesus. So her argument, or the lawyer's argument, was this is not a school speech. This was not the message of the school. It was her personal message. So, to give you a little background on me, I myself would consider myself an atheist. I'm not a Christian, and I don't believe the Bible to be true. I believe many of the historical events supposed to be in the Bible never actually occurred. And I think that the existence of Jesus as a real person is highly questionable. So those are my own views, just to give you a little context about me. Here's what I think you'll find interesting. I actually agree with this lawyer of the student. I myself, I had a 4.0 in school, and there were a variety of people in my high school who had 4.0s, so there really was no valedictorian. But I had given a speech for student council president that was entertaining, and I think that's why they chose me to give a speech for our graduation ceremony, which is normally something that they didn't do. They kind of made a special exception to allow me to give a speech. And I remember I was at my senior prom, and I was with a hot date that I wanted to impress, and one of my teachers came out and basically told me that she hoped that I would not have the same kind of antics or shenanigans that I pulled in my student council president speech. That was kind of funny. And so I watered it down, my speech, and it was fairly forgettable, I think. I doubt anybody probably remembers it because I had to water it down and make it not entertaining. So I think that there's a line between something that's vulgar and unacceptable, offensive to people on a vulgar level, which I doubt that I would have made a speech like that. But this is another matter entirely. I don't believe that the school has the authority to take a valedictorian, to disallow a valedictorian in this particular case from making a personal message that includes some kind of references to religion or Jesus or what have you. And I think whether it's a Muslim or whether it's a Hindu, they should be allowed to say what they want. So I disagree with this. In the problem I see is, I think that there is a point at which we can take this too far. At least atheists or the liberal agenda, in which I think that if you constrain people from the other standpoint, from a religious standpoint, too much, you ultimately create a powder keg waiting to explode that is contrary to what you want. Not only that, but I simply think that on just a rational basis, I think that it was wrong to censor this girl's speech and her religious beliefs. So I completely buy into what he said about this being a personal message and not a message of the school. I think all too often we get into our stance of thinking, society should conform to the way that I think it should be. When in reality, you have a lot of different people in society sharing differing beliefs and opinions and views from your own. And I think it's counterproductive to a lubricated, that's going to be a strange reference, having social lubrication in the cogs of social interactions with people. To me, this is just an unnecessary cause for friction between two groups. And, I can see, sometimes I'll turn on the Focus on the Family radio messages just to kind of hear what they're talking about. And, on one hand, I think it's completely egregious to allow intelligent design or creationism, whatever you want to call it, to be taught in public schools. I think that's terrible. But can't we pick and choose our battles? This is not a battle, I think, that needs to be fought. I think it's trivial, it's ridiculous, and it just stirs up a variety of feelings from people sharing, having those religious viewpoints, and gives them ammunition for saying that our society has become extreme, and there's no reason for it. And I completely disagree with the decision to censor someone's valedictorian speech on the basis of expressing some kind of religious views. There you have it. We need to be a little more rational in how we approach, how we try to express our own ideologies about the way our society should be, and simply allow people to be who they are.